Say that shit. I'm like from
One chip challenge?
that shit.
The hottest chip in the world. Well, I didn't do it.
I did it, bro. I am.
What do you get?
I got it from Chinese. That shit.
Alright guys, we're gonna have computers today, and I gotta talk to you about some serious stuff.
Okie dokie.
So please go to your seats and, now class started, so let's go to our seats and get out your computers. And then we're gonna talk about some serious things,
Like what?
like the fact that, I'm gonna tell you when we get there, so, today is the first day we're gonna have a major assessment, it is your writing assessment. I told you about it, and I told you about it, and I told you about it. And I'm gonna do some weird stuff with seating today, so roll with me when I tell you where to move and how I want you to move. But you are gonna sit in some different places and different ways today, that will help me. The expectation for the writing assessment, this is a big grade, you guys. Well, it's not worth the points, it's a category all by itself. So that grade in the grade book is a category in the weighted grade categories, and it's the only score in there. So it's gonna make a difference. It is a writing assessment that, my expectation is that you will be respectful of your classmates, and that you will not get up and wander around the room, that you will not talk when you're finished, because people are writing, and writing is hard for some people, and some people really don't like to do it. And this is your one shot to do this assessment. You don't get to do retakes. If you write one sentence, you're gonna get a really bad grade. You gotta write the whole paragraph. You gotta actually do this and give it your best, okay? And so you need to be respectful of your classmates. And that means you're not talking throughout the whole thing. That means you're not bugging other people. And when you finish, you're doing something quietly on your own. No. You can, however, study vocab. You can do other homework. You can do other things. You just can't be distracting your classmates. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
On Monday, you have the 1 through 3 unit vocab test. It's 75 points. It will also, if you study and learn those words, A, the test will be really easy. B, it can help your grade, especially if you get a higher grade than what you currently have in the class. So, that being said, we are, the last 15 minutes of class, we're gonna have a substitute. Ms. Middleman's coming in because I have to go to a speech and debate tournament. This will happen a few times this year where I have to go to a tournament and I have to leave early for my activity. My expectation for you guys is that you, at 3:15. Today? Yes.
Isn't Miss Collins a really younger teacher? She's like 23.
She's older than 23, but
22.
What?
It was fair.
That's basically like one.
class number 315. I can't because I have to get to the tournament by 4. All right, so here's, it's not that far. We're getting out of the parking lot takes 20 minutes. So we're out at 3:15, which is why a lot of you guys get out a few minutes early too. All right, so here's my expectation when Ms. Middleman's here. You're all gonna be polite. You're gonna be nicer than when you are with me. You're gonna stay in your seats. You're not gonna get up and wander around. You're not gonna be going crazy, right? Super important that you honor that and do that. If you can't do that, she will give me your name and you will get a referral and definitely a parent call home, because that is not, she's doing us a favor by coming in here. You gotta be nice with her and with any other sub. Yeah, so then be good. Okay, so those are my words to you all. And once again, do not distract your classmates while they are trying to write. Even if you don't like to write, that doesn't mean that they aren't trying to improve their grade. So first things first, we're gonna put our phones up here because this is an assessment. We do have a bathroom list today. If you think you're gonna need to go this period, you're gonna have to record your time out and your time in. Anybody who exceeds, 7 minutes has been gone excessively long, so you're gonna keep track of your time. So if you want your name on the list, I'm not gonna argue with you about the order. Put your name up when you put your phone on there, and do not fight over it. First come, first serve for the line. But remember, you're taking time away from your assessment if you do it. So come on, everybody put your phones up. It's a test. It matters.
Wait, what is the test?
The writing assessment is a test.
Yeah, but what's the name of the test?
I'll tell you about it as soon as we get set up. We gotta move some people too. Don't worry about that, I'll just worry about getting something.
Miss, my name is Mayor, or-
You're trying to stay there. Don't stay way up. You are. Alright, next up, Mosai, you must be saying, we're taking an assessment today. My expectation is you all stay in your seats. Guys, you did not distract your classmates. This will be done in one class period. There is no extra time. What? Do you have fast enough? Yep. Well, then I'll write you up. That's fine. Well, if you don't have, if you're not excused for leaving early. You leave early if you have a good pass and you have a reason.
Oh no, are we already taking it?
Can I start?
Wait, is it this one?
You can't start it and not finish it. No.
Oh, I just mentioned.
Oh, Johnny, you should have been in Brazil.
She has to post her sentence. Will not.
This is the one shit challenge.
Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Everybody, this is gonna be weird and you gotta roll with it. So first things first, we have a vocab test Monday. Today, you don't need to see it here. Today, you are going to do this performance task. That is your number one goal. If you finish early, I might work to get you on that AP classroom for all you people who didn't get on. But we're gonna have you do weird stuff with your seating. So if you're in the first, let's
Wait,
put
right
a
now?
plan for your seating. Here's what you're gonna do, Jimmy.
I can't start?
Come on up here next to Sedona.
I'm charging.
No, wait, no, Nick. You're gonna sit up here next to Sedona. Jimmy, just wait. Everybody is, except for the back row people, are gonna turn your chair around and put your stuff on the desk behind you. So you're gonna be facing that side of the room. So I can see your screen. You're gonna all turn around your chair around and put your stuff on the desk behind you. Back row people, you're all gonna move, so bring your chair. Well, you're not all bringing chairs up. Kelsey, bring a chair up. Jimmy, bring a chair up. Mazzy, bring a chair up. No, you're not going to that. You're flipping to the desk behind you. Everybody turn around, flip to the desk behind you. We're only moving a couple chairs. Yep. Karen,
Miss, I don't feel comfortable with you saying
so let's be back.
That's crazy.
This is back there. This is next to there. Jimmy, bring your chair up here. You're gonna sit up on the desk up here. Maggie, you're gonna sit right here. Yep. What? No, you come up here. Actually, I'm gonna put you somewhere. Yeah.
I want to see next to
Oh, feels like good.
No, you look you like we're not checking you out.
Well, this chair is so.
Okay, why do you need a chair? You don't.
No.
Sit down. Alright, you guys, you're wasting time. You need to bring a chair.
Miss, I'm already starting. What do you mean?
Okay, I need to see more people moving. Kelsey, you're right here.
Yeah, you good? No promises. Yeah, okay. I'm scared. I'm gonna fail.
What even is this about?
It's me.
What's the test about, you know?
No.
All right.
Can you wait till I give instructions?
Miss, I need.
Because the instructions will take you, but don't start. Guys, once the slap starts, you start. Alright, come on here.
Miss, can I sit right?
Can you just let me get through this for you all? Do not start yet. We're still trying to get you organized. Some people can't get on computers. Everybody has a problem that they need solved. And I gotta hand out the story to you. I gotta give you all the instructions, make sure you can get the best grade possible. So I need you guys to just settle down and take one thing at a time. So number one, you guys have or should have this yellow rubric in your stuff. This is what you're graded with. This is the rubric. If you want to get out this rubric, this obnoxiously yellow sheet of paper, if you have it, I know you have it because I handed it out to everybody.
No, you didn't. We never got those. Never got it.
You guys, you shouldn't argue with me. I made enough copies for all my classes. I only have like 6 copies left. You got them. C sharp pulled one up. You guys got it.
You want to share?
Sedona.
No,
I gave you this 3 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago?
Oh, I got it.
Several weeks ago.
I have it.
If you have it, great. If you don't, maybe your neighbor has one and they'll share with you. If
Yeah, I
you
don't
want to
have
look it up, it's on Schoology in the September folder. It's called Q1
That's good,
rubric. It's not rocket science. All right, you should take your chair, not the chair next to him, because Kaden shows up. And you
He's
just
in Florida,
Kaden
so
is.
he's definitely not gonna
Oh my god, I didn't see it. Are you okay?
Wait, when you close it after already starting, does the time stop?
Do not start.
I need to leave early.
All right, if you want to start, you can start, but I'm gonna read the story to you guys, so you'll just have to tune me out. All right, so everybody turn around. I'm gonna come to your side of the room. So Gavin, you need to turn around. All right, so on the screen, you guys are gonna write. You've written. You guys have written at least 3 paragraphs that have done or worked with 3 paragraphs that meet these requirements. CERER is what we're looking for. Elliot, stop. We want a well-developed paragraph. So you want to say at least 11 sentences, but your quote should only count for 1 sentence, even if it's a multi-sentence quote, because you want a kind of longer paragraph. If you look at the rubric says that the best paragraphs are well-developed, they're thorough, they talk about lots of telling details, and so we want to have details. You want to use those quotes well. If you introduce the quote, put the quote in. You do not need to cite the quote, though. Okay, so you want to have specific details from the article. You want to proofread. See, I made 2 posters for you guys. You want to proofread, and you want to write a really good CERER paragraph. Your best work you can do. Yes. Claim, evidence, reasoning. What? You wrote the old man and sea paragraph. That was a CERER. You revised the lamb to the slaughter paragraph. Some of you wrote the Tom Buchanan paragraph. All of them were the same kind of principles. Yes. I don't know if you have time. Sure. So if you want, guys, go to Schoology. Go to the assignment called Performance Test 1. And I'll hand out a copy of the story to y'all. Go to Performance Test 1 and you can hit open. And you can hit open. I'm going to give you your own file. So S and C. It is, but more importantly, it's in a category by itself. There's so many questions. So grades are weighted by category. So right now, all of your summer grades are summer category. This is a category all by itself.
Wait,
If you do your best writing, you're not going to talk.
this is not a short
No, what
story.
is it?
How about this is
Well,
gonna
you know what, for your best writing,
Oh my fucking god.
All right, then you're gonna sit where
I'm saying good luck to everyone else.
I don't want to.
Good luck. Hey. Good luck, Jason.
I can't have you.
You know.
This is a whole book, bro. What the fuck?
Wait, what is that?
Good luck, Gio.
All right, guys. Everybody open the assessment?
Can we color on these?
No, leave it right there. Take, unplug the top thing. Whatever's plugged in the top.
Can I underline?
Are you two still dating?
I don't know that.
Yeah? Who the hell
Okay,
said we
can I
woke
just
up?
give you
Who
instructions
said
so you
that?
can start?
I don't know.
All right,
Everyone
everybody,
else-
we can stop our chit
Everyone's
chatting.
asking me
Is
that.
this how you're gonna take tests from now on?
Yes.
Really? You all want to get zeros?
I'm
Every test, there's no talking, you know that.
Right?
Josiah, you now sit in front of Casillas, right there, just flip the chair around. Right there, just flip that chair around, your regular chair, flip it around. All right. No. So, guys, I will be calling home, I will be writing referrals if you disrupt people during assessments. Because then you're hurting other people's learning. It's one thing to do it during class discussions, it's another during an assessment that matters. This is a midterm. This is something that matters. You're proving to me that you are competent writers. And writing is hard for people. So you need to be considerate of the people who it's hard for. If you're gonna be a jerk and disrupt your classmates, I guarantee we'll be making a phone call before this class period is over. So don't be a jerk. Okay? Everybody open the assessment? Question 1 just says click the link. The link is a copy of the story. If you want a digital version of the story, you can use that. If you want to write on this story, you can. If we're going to read it together, if you want to highlight things, take notes on things, you can do that. Then we're going to click to question 2 on the assessment. That is the prompt. Would somebody read the prompt for us?
Carefully read. Oh, no.
You can read it.
Oh, carefully. Carefully read the short story Powder by Tobias Wolff. The two main characters are father and son. Since the son is the narrator, his thoughts are often expressed directly. On the other hand, figuring out what the father is thinking requires paying close attention to the telling details the author includes. Write a well-written paragraph in which you analyze how much the author uses telling details to provide the reader with insight into the father's thoughts and character.
Okay. In other words, what are you supposed to do? You've seen this prompt before, or similar prompt. What are you supposed to write about? Jimmy.
About the father's thoughts and character.
Yeah. What does that mean?
My details about him.
What did we say in the Tom Buchanan paragraph? What were you supposed to write about? What were you supposed to write about in the old Nancy paragraph?
His thoughts.
Let's take
His
away from the prompt.
characteristics.
Let's share. Those 2 paragraphs they said you write about what kind of person is this and how do you know?
Thirsty. I love my water.
Mazzy, that's disruptive. You keep your thoughts to yourself. Okay. What do you know about him and how do you know? I will read the story to you if you want to follow along. That way, because everybody reads at different speeds. If you want to follow along, you can mark up things if you want to, and then you can get started with the paragraph as soon as I'm done. Yes? Okay. Powder by Tobias Wolff. Just because before Christmas, my father took me skiing at Mount Baker. He had to fight for the privilege of my company.
I'm sorry, I'm grabbing a pencil. Stop disturbing.
He had to fight for the privilege of my company because my mother was still angry with him for sneaking me into a nightclub during his last visit to see Thelonious Monk. He wouldn't give up. He promised, hand on heart, to take good care of me and have me home for dinner on Christmas Eve. And she relented. But as we were checking out the lodge that morning, it began to snow. And in the snow, he observed some rare quality that made it necessary for us to get in one last run. We got in several last runs. He was indifferent to my fretting. Snow whirled about us in bitter, blinding squalls, hissing like sand, and still we skied. As the wind bore us to the peak yet again, my father looked at his watch and said, "Criminy, this will have to be a fast one." By now, I couldn't see the trail. There was no point in trying. I stuck to him like white on rice and did what he did and somehow made it to the bottom without sailing off a cliff. We returned our skis. My father put chains on the Austin Healy while I swayed from foot to foot, clapping my mittens and wishing I was home. I could see everything. The green tablecloth, the plates with a holly pattern, the red candles waiting to be lit. We passed a diner on our way out. "You want some soup?" my father asked. I shook my head. "Buck up," he said. "I'll get you there. Right, doctor?" I was supposed to say, "Right, doctor," but I didn't say anything. The state trooper waved us down outside the resort. A pair of sawhorses were blocking the road. The trooper came up to our car and bent down to my father's window. His face was bleached by the cold. Snowflakes clung to his eyebrows and to the fur trim of his jacket and cap. "Don't tell me," my father said. The trooper told him. The road was closed. It might get cleared, it might not. Storm took everyone by surprise. So much, so fast, hard to get people moving. Christmas Eve, what can you do? My father said, look, we're talking about 5, 6 inches. I've taken this car through worse than that. The trooper straightened up. His face was out of sight, but I could hear him. The road is closed. My father sat with both hands on the wheel, rubbing the wood with his thumbs. He looked at the barricade for a long time. He seemed to be trying to muster the idea of it. Then he thanked the trooper, and with a weird old lady show of caution, turned the car around. Your mother will never forgive me for this, he said. We should have left before, I said. Doctor. He didn't speak to me again until we were in a booth at the diner waiting for a burger. She won't forgive me, he said. Do you understand? Never. I guess, I said. But no guesswork was required. She wouldn't forgive him. I can't let that happen. He bent toward me. I'll tell you what I want. I want us all to be together again. Is that what you want? Yes, sir. He bumped my chin with his knuckles. That's all I needed to hear. When he finished eating, he went to the payphone in the back of the diner, then joined me in the booth again. I figured he'd called my mother, but he didn't get a report. He sipped at his coffee and stared out the window at the empty road. Come on, he said, though not to me. A little while later, he said it again. When the trooper's car went past, lights flashing, he got up and dropped some money on the check. Okay, vámonos. The wind had died. The snow was falling straight down, less of it now and lighter. We drove away from the resort right up to the barricade. Move it, my father told me. When I looked at him, he said, what are you waiting for? I got out and dragged one of the sawhorses aside, then put it back after he drove through. He pushed the door open for me. Now you're an accomplice, he said. We go down together. He put the car into gear and gave me a look. Joe, son. Down the long stretch, I watched the road behind us to see if the trooper was on our tail. The barricade vanished. Then there was nothing but snow. Snow on the road, snow picking up from the chains, snow on the trees, snow in the sky, and our trail in the snow. Then I faced forward and had a shock. The lay of the road behind us had been marked by our own tracks, but there were no tracks ahead of us. My father was breaking virgin snow between a line of tall trees. He was humming Stars Fell on Alabama. I felt snow brushing off the floorboards under my feet. My hands were shaking. I clamped them between my knees. My father grunted in a thoughtful way and said, don't ever try this yourself. I won't. That's what you say now, but someday you'll get your license and then you think you can do anything. Only you won't be able to do this. You need, I don't know, a certain instinct. Maybe I have it. You don't. You have strong points, but not this. I only mention it because I don't want you to get the idea that this is something just anybody can do. I'm a great driver. That's not a virtue, okay? That's just a fact, one that you should be aware of. Of course, you have to give the old heap some credit too. There aren't many cars like this I'd try this with. Listen. I did listen. I heard the clap of the chains, the stiff, jerky rasp of the wipers, and the purr of the engine. It really did purr. The old heap was almost new. My father couldn't afford it and kept promising to sell it, but here it was. I said, where do you think that policeman went to? Are you warm enough? He reached over and cranked up the blower. Then he turned off the wipers. We didn't need them. The clouds had brightened. A few sparse, feathery flakes drifted into our slipstream and were swept away. We left the trees and entered a broad field of snow that ran level for a while, then tilted sharply upward. Orange stakes had been planted at intervals in 2 parallel lines, and my father steered a course between them, though they were far enough apart to leave considerable doubt to my mind as to exactly where the road lay. He was humming again, his little scat riffs around the melody. Okay then, what are my strong points? Don't get me started, he said. It'd take all day. All right, name one. Easy. You always think ahead. True. I always thought ahead. I was a boy who kept his clothes on numbered hangers to ensure proper rotation. I bothered my teachers for homework assignments far ahead of their due dates so I could draw up schedules. I thought ahead, and that was why I knew there would be other troopers waiting for us at the end of our ride if we got there. What I did not know was that my father would wheedle and plead his way past them. He didn't say, oh, Tannenbaum, but just about. To get me home for dinner, buying a little more time before my mother decided to make the split final. I knew we'd get caught. I was resigned to it. And maybe for this reason, I stopped moping and began to enjoy myself. Why not? This was one for the books, like being in a speedboat, only better. You can't go downhill in a boat. And it was all ours, and it kept coming. The laden trees, the unbroken surface of snow, the sudden white vistas. Here and there I saw hints of the roads, ditches, fences, stakes, but not so many that I could have found my way. But then I didn't have to. My father was driving. My father, in his 48th year, rumpled, kind, bankrupt of honor, flushed with certainty. He was a great driver. All persuasion, no coercion. Such subtlety at the wheel, such tactful pedal work. I actually trusted him. And the best was yet to come. Switchbacks and hairpins impossible to describe, except maybe to say this. You haven't driven fresh powder. You haven't driven. Ooh. All right, so your job is to write a good paragraph telling us what kind of person is his dad and how do you know? What details give you those clues about his character? Write the best paragraph you can. Here's some pieces of advice on these little mini posters. And work quietly and get this done. It's due before you leave today. And you can write on this packet if you want to make a plan, or you can make a plan in your type spot where you can type and you can erase the plan afterwards. It's up to you. Whatever word you want to say. Should have. Should at least two. I got 9 minutes.
Can I submit?
You're done, sit. And then do missing work or study work.
So many. Why equals x your mom? Oh my god, is that amazing?
You need to make your grammar quiz. So it's open now. You can do it right now if you want to get it done.
Almost the midterms on the 13th. Then the vocab quiz is on the 10th.
comma, semicolon, late.
Okay. Also, could you probably open this one?
Do the
for me
grammar
too?
first because that one counts. And then I'll open that one.
Oh, so
The grammar one counts.
So vocab 2 didn't never counted.
Well, that's still formative. So, no, it doesn't count. You're right. So do the grammar. Go to the grammar folder. Do the grammar test because that's urgent. And then you can get that done. Okay. Comma, semicolon, late is called.
What's the website with the flashcards for
Vocab or for vocab?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 through 3 review.
Thank you.
Stefano currently wore the pants. Oh my God, there's so many.
So we didn't count it. You can just say, it's way faster. And you sign up for J3 Google. Should we then use Tuesday? Yes. And then it's your measures. Yeah, I'm great.
So what's the comprehension questions?
What?
What's the comprehension questions?
Does it have a star by it?
Yes.
Then it didn't count, so don't worry about it. Anything with one of these stars means it doesn't count in your grade.
Oh, so,
But you still might want to take the vocab test. I'll open it, so because we take the big test next week, and you want to test just to see if you know the words.
yeah,
I'll open it for you.
thank you.
Take it down and don't do like do that correction. You don't take it, you can't be careful. I would take it.
If people are still working, let's let them concentrate. I know this is when it gets hard, so do what you need to do to keep yourself entertained. You can play games. I'm not gonna yell at you for playing games. Seriously. Just keep yourself occupied so you don't bother other people.
For other classes.
You can do work for other classes, yes.
That's not good. How do you fix that?
No, I did actually really good.
Sometimes it takes us 2 days to get it. On the table right here. Yeah, you don't have to, you can leave the room.
Oh, no, it's just that's.
No, she's doing the corrections, that's in another room.
So, no, not at this point. Maybe. So it's in the grammar folder. It's called comma semicolon, summative 8. It's in the grammar folder.
What did I say? You gotta stay in your seat. Mr. White, you move your chair back. Hey, Matt.
You have
Headphones for like the computer.
No, but I.
No, it's fine.
just make it some bullshit. I don't have to do both.
I don't wanna bother people.
You need to keep it. Got your account number?
Oh, I did last night.
You got into that actual class?
Yeah.
Show me. I'm sorry. But I gotta make sure. Essence, do you wanna try the AP classroom thing again? Try to get your thing registered. Go through that whole long process. Can we do that? Well, we had to start over, remember, we timed out? And last time I looked, it says yesterday, you weren't in yet. Okay. Make sure you're in our call.
All right, guys, so part of the challenge for you, your goal is to stay seated and stay quiet, please. This is our challenge. I know it is. Oh, yep, you're in. Good. I can press your phone.
No worries. Like maybe that should be reasonable. Like what if you check it? I'm getting organized. Love it. Let me get this stuff again.
How was it made last time?
It's one of my favorite things.
Do you want me to start her on that?
If you can't, if she has the
Yeah.
computer, yes, if you want to start her.
Yeah.
The code is in the October folder on the PowerPoint on Tuesday.
Okay, cool. We could do that. We have 15 minutes. I feel like that'll be all right. Returning the Chromebook to Growl. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's good. I didn't know who was that.
Tuesday slides.
I'll probably start coaching my languages on next one.
If like you're holding it down, you can proceed to.
Yeah.
That's what we just do.
anything that has a star, fill out. When it's gonna ask you stuff that doesn't have a star, don't do it because it makes it so much longer a process. If you have like two last names, go by a different first name, do the one that would be empowered for. You got my Cheetos?
No.
Hey, what's up? Man. Because I don't think this hanging out would let you, you know what I mean?
Stay gone for 20 minutes.
Guys, I don't really care what you are doing right now, because it seemed like Miss Hagman didn't really care. But my only request is that you just stay seated and working on something quietly. Like, I don't care if you're on TikTok or whatever right now. I am Miss Middleman. I teach English here too. So if you have questions, I can help. We have a lot of fun, but Miss Hagman's cool too.
She's cool, but she's a little bit cooler.
Got a good vibe. We try to have good vibes. What? No vibes from Miss Hagman? She has good vibes. She's happy vibes. What?
She always has that.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure she does, though. It's really hard for a teacher to not like somebody. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because your haircut's so fresh. It's probably that.
I cut my hair.
You cut it yourself? You did that on the back yourself? How did you do that yourself? Get out. That's crazy. How long did it take you? I was gonna say, you must have gone slow. That's pretty cool. Okay, so do you live in Aurora or Centennial or Inglewood? Yeah. Probably. So you don't have to do any of this because there are no stars. Did you use your Cherry Creek email? Okay. Okay, so anytime this looks correct, check the box.
Yeah.
So it needs to be no spaces, oops, a lot of characters, uppercase, and have a special characteristic after a number. Or with a number. It's like maybe do your normal password and throw on one exclamation mark or something. Yeah, maybe. Is there a place that you keep these passwords for everything? Was it saying it can't contain a name? what's something that you would remember? Like if they were questioning your security, like it could be, like I had one that's like Raspberry Pi, just because that's totally random and I knew it would be mine. You know what I mean? It could be something about like your pet, your street that you live on, something about a sibling, a parent, favorite music band.
The soccer one?
Oh, you could skip it if you want to skip it.
Everyone.
No. That way it won't send you spam texts, you know. Woo! One last step is to be added to the class. Sick. This is so exciting. Okay, let's start. Entering your parent or guardian. Did either one pick a parent or guardian? Did either one of them complete college? They finish elementary school, took it after high school diploma. They went to like trade school. They did a little bit of college, or if it's not university. Oh, this one's which language do you know best? There we go. Done.
Yeah, we already figured that, but I really hope they don't make mistakes. Brandon, Madison, and Macy. No, Brandon. But I would be the one saying, I would be the one saying. Yeah.
Never a million. I got hit twice and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll really do this. I'll do the rest of it. It's so good.